Okay, if the title hasn't freaked you out already, then you're gonna want to buckle up, and if you're sitting in the dark, turn on a light, and if you're eating food, put down the plate, because this is one of the most creepiest stories I've ever told. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy but also super sus and embarrassing creepy story. Now, this story all takes place back when I was in high school, and quick context about my high school, this was a really old high school, okay? This building was like built in like the 80s, and this school was like parents of parents like went to this high school. Like, it was a really old high school, and it was really gross. And one thing I gotta say was that it was just, you know, it's torn down now, but I gotta say back then they should have torn it down like a long time ago. Like, it was gross, okay? Like, it was bad. Anyways, I remember this was my grade 12 year, and I remember in my grade 12 year I had this course called PE, physical education. And in physical education there was like a lot of different units that we had to do. Like, we had a dancing unit, we had a roller skating unit, which I really didn't understand. We also had fun units like dodgeball or basketball or basic sports that we got to play. And I remember one time when I walked into PE class thinking that it was going to be a normal day, we ended up getting a substitute teacher that walks inside the gym. Now, this substitute teacher was a very attractive teacher. Like, I gotta say, like, now that I'm 24, like, I can easily say it, she was super hot. But back then when I was in grade 12, I thought she was old and musty and crusty. I don't know. I was different back then, I guess. I really have no idea. But I remember when she walks into the gym, everyone in the school just kind of like starts freaking out because, like, I don't know, like, they considered her like a hot MILF, even though we don't even know if she had children or not. And I remember one of my buddies walks up to me. He's like, yo, what do you think this teacher's gonna teach us? Physical education, like the class we're in. Oh, yeah, right. True that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess people back then were really dumb, but going on. From there, I remember we all lined... I just had a voice crack. Holy crap. Dude, am I hitting puberty again? I have a beard. Anyways, going on, like I was saying though, basically from there, we all end up standing up against the wall for attendance. And as we're getting attendance done, the teacher starts calling out our names. Except when our teacher called out my name, she looks at me up and down as if she was checking me out. And she's like, oh, you're Bubba, right? Yeah. Hi. Here. Present. I don't know. I didn't really know what to say. I was just trying to let her know I was here. And she's like, I see you. And she winks at me. At that moment, one of the guys that were standing beside me during attendance ends up putting his shoulder on me, being like, yo, your aura just went up, bro. Cool. Thanks, is what I said to him. And we all basically start getting ready. And that's when our teacher ends up taking us outside onto the field and says that our unit for PE today is football. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up in Canada. Football wasn't really like a thing for us. Like, we have like teams that we play in football, I guess, up there in Canada. But like, football's not like the iconic sport for us. Hockey's the only game we care about. So knowing that we were playing football, a lot of people in my high school didn't really know how to play. So we started to learn how to play football. And we started playing like regular tackle football because for some reason, this teacher wanted to see us all sweaty and wet throughout the field. So I remember we start playing football and we start practicing it and doing football for like, I want to say over an hour. Yeah, this class like lasted pretty long, and we actually ended up kind of forgetting that lunchtime was even on. We got so intense into the game to the point where another teacher had to come outside and let us go hit the showers. Now, this is where things kind of get weird because I'm not gonna lie, in my old high school, showers were like the one thing I refused to do. It's not that I didn't like showering, it's just showering in high school back then, you gotta understand, it was a bunch of dudes that were in high school that would go inside the change room, go into the shower room and turn on the shower, and there was no like blockers to like hide like privacy. Everything was out in the open. Like, if you were bricked in high school and you were about to take a shower, the whole team would know, or the whole class at least. We didn't really have a football team back then, so that was even worse. So knowing this, I remember I was super embarrassed and I didn't actually end up wanting to take a shower. What I did instead was I went to my locker all sweaty and muddy, and I ended up basically grabbing my lunch and went to the cafeteria to sit down. Obviously, teachers noticed that I was all muddy and stuff because I was getting mud in the hallway. So one of the teachers ends up walking up to me saying, excuse me, Bubba. Yeah, you need to hit the showers, young man, or at least get cleaned up. Like, you're getting mud all over the place and people are trying to enjoy their lunch. My bad. I'll head to the showers is what I told him. And I ended up getting up and I actually didn't go to the showers. What I ended up doing was just taking my lunch outside so I wouldn't make a mess anymore. And I sat down by the football field and started eating. As I was eating, I ended up realizing that the MILF that was our teacher for that day ends up coming up to me. And she walks up to me saying, Bubba, you're still here? Why didn't you hit the showers? You know, I'm just waiting, you know, for a spot in the showers. No one should be in there by now. Do you want me to go check for you? You want to go check the guys' change room? Is what I asked her, because I was really confused on why she wanted to go in there in the first place. But she insisted and she was 100% down to do it. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, you know, it saves me from getting up and I can still enjoy my lunch. So this teacher stands up and she goes over to the change rooms and she goes and looks around. She comes back out and she looks at me and says, oh, Bubba, it's totally empty in there if you want to go in there. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. And that's when I end up packing up my lunch again. I end up going to my locker, picking up my clothes. And as I'm doing this, I realized that the teacher was following me the whole time. At this moment, I felt really awkward and stuff, but there was no way she was going to follow me into the change room. Well, that's where you're wrong, because I remember I go into the change room and I go to the locker that I have in the change room and I start putting my lunch in there and I start basically slowly taking off my clothes and grabbing my towel. And at this moment, when I look behind me, I see the teacher is just staring at me. She's not moving. She's not leaving. She's not giving me any privacy. At this moment, I obviously said something and said, oh, I don't think I need your help anymore. Oh, you don't? Oh, right. I shouldn't be in here. Sorry. I'll leave right now, is what she says. And she ends up leaving the change room. At this moment, I get totally bare naked and I go inside the showers and I start taking a shower with the shampoo I had. I start cleaning myself up, getting kind of excited that I'm taking a shower and that I have the whole shower room to myself because, you know, I enjoy my privacy. Comment down below if you like to shower by yourself, but I know I do. And from there, as I'm showering by myself, out of nowhere, I end up hearing a door open, the change room door. So right away, I start panicking and I start, like, you know, freaking out and I put on my towel. But as I go out asking, hello? Is anyone here? No one was actually there. I go out of the showers and I look around and see that no one was in there. And I still had a lot of soap in my hair at this moment. So it was super embarrassing just coming out of the showers and not seeing anybody. But I could have sworn I heard someone is what I thought in my head. But I guess I was mistaken. Sorry, I'm getting the hiccups. I just realized. Oh man, that's annoying. Oh, I should drink water during these videos. But anyway, like I was saying, from there, I start continuing back with my shower and putting my towel away. And as I'm continuing my shower, out of nowhere, I end up seeing like an eyeball kind of like glance over the corner of the shower room. And I start freaking out because I recognize the hair and it was my teacher that was teaching us PE. At this moment, I covered myself up right away and I'm like, what are you doing? Hey, Baba, sorry. I was just making sure. Is everything okay? Yeah. What are you doing? Oh, I was just, you know, in here picking up something I forgot. You forgot something in the guys' change room is what I asked her. And that's when she ends up walking into the shower room and she's like, you know what? Just don't worry about it. And I'm just standing there in my towel, but then she takes off my towel for me. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie. One thing led to another. We ended up doing the devil's tango. Am I weirded out to say that? Kinda. But I gotta say it was pretty hot, I guess. And one thing led to another. Me and her, we ended up finishing up. And, you know, after the devil's tango, we ended up getting our clothes on and we leave the change room at the same time. Except I think the worst part was that one of the girls that were in my PE class noticed that me and her came out of the showers the same time. And she was like kind of freaked out, being like, why did Bubba come out of the showers with our teacher? And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, there was a rumor set out that me and the teacher did it, but in reality, I'm not gonna lie, me and her just never spoke about anything and pretended nothing ever happened. I gotta say, there's a lot of things you should do in high school and a lot of things you shouldn't, and showering with your teacher is the one thing that you should never do. But if you guys enjoyed the video and want to watch more, click on one of the videos on screen right now. Thank you guys so much for watching and make sure to subscribe.